everybody. Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream headliner show here from my living room to yours. This is the replacement show for what we normally run at the Crack House Comedy Club, but of course, due to this pandemic, everybody's hunkered down, everybody's in lockdown, everybody's at home. So we are bringing the comedy to you. Thank you so much for joining us. This is a COVID-19 initiative to help feed the underprivileged and also tip the comedians as well. So if you guys want to give anything, you want to tip the comics and give to a good cause, you can go to the Ko-fi link that's in the description. That's right, Laura Cole. We don't need your comments anymore to put my company's bank account in the comment section, which she will probably still do anyway. Bless her heart. She's a lovely girl. Tonight we have two very special acts, one from Singapore. Yeah, let's hear some big W's for Singapore. I can hear the Malaysians going boo, because no, don't. There's no need for that. I know it's a very typical thing. It's like Singapore's rivalry, Malaysia's rivalry with Singapore is like Australia and New Zealand. It's like the UK and everybody else. Which we do. We have an Australian headliner as well. We got Mr. Campbell here. He's in the backstage, so to speak. It's kind of weird. He's not really backstage. He's in his basement. And I'm here to host you guys and also to give you the rules. There are no rules because you're in your own house. You can take photos, talk as loud as you want, order anything you want. The bar is open or not. It's Ramadan. All right. Anyway, so I'm sure perhaps we have some international audiences watching from abroad. Let's hear it for anyone from Australia or from the UK. Just so you know, Malaysia is in its first week of the relaxed movement control order. We've slightly lifted our lockdown laws. By the way, we call it MCO. That's movement control order. In Singapore, they call it circuit breaker. In America, they call it Friday. This is our first week in our lessened law MCO lockdown. People can travel now. And on the first day, white people went out to the pubs. On the second day, all the Indians went out to the pubs. And on the third day, all the pubs had to shut down. And why? It's because of the Malays, who weren't even drinking. I get it. A lot of people want their alcohol fresh. It's not the same when you get out of the can. I don't know why I'm talking. I'm Muslim and it's Ramadan. This is a very inappropriate topic right now, but I'm going for it. You want your beer fresh. I get it. So you want to get it at the pub, but you don't have to sit there, do you? You can take it away, right? Because we all know how we do here. You can do one of these things. Yeah. This joke is not sponsored by Singtao, by the way. Right? I can hear some white people going, "Oh no, that's not for me. I would never ever do that." Well, actually, it kind of works. Yeah. Look at these guys. Yeah, see? So take your beer home. That's what I'm saying. Get out of the pubs. All right. Thank you so much. The live comments are looking very, very positive. Everybody's giving big W's. Big W's mean, if you're confused, big W's means applauses. So that is also a good message to Jinx and Ro. If you look at the comments later while you're performing and you see a lot of big W's, that means they're clapping, virtually clapping, not actually clapping. We got, woohoo, Singapore. Thank you, Yang Wai Chin. Love thy neighbors. I agree. Love thy neighbors. We love you. In fact, we love you 3 times more than you love us. Yeah. Not supposed to drink. Correct. Thank you, Pat Fern G. Punto. Lots of big W's. The guy on the left looks like Nat. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, I can't think of a better time but to bring up your first comic. Guys, I'm very excited to have him on. It's going to be his first time performing online. So please, which I should also say, if the internet connection is bad, stop using U Mobile. I once saw this guy perform in an open mic night many years ago, and he was very, very impressive. And since then he's gone to perform all around the world. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live streaming all the way from across the causeway. Give it up for Mr. Jinx Yeo!
Hey, thank you, Rizal. Give it up for you, Rizal. Oh, this side, Rizal. Yeah.
No, high five.
High five. Yeah, so yeah, I hope everybody is staying safe during this coronavirus, which is a pretty sad situation. Everyone's under lockdown, except Malaysia now. But well, I hope the lockdowns end soon because, as you can tell, I really need a haircut. But it's kind of sad, right? This coronavirus, because coronavirus, finally something original comes out from China. Why must it be a disease? Right? And because of this coronavirus, comedy shows all over the world are getting shut down. They closed down comedy shows all over the world, and this is how you can tell this is a very China virus, because it's shutting down free speech in other countries. And don't worry, no China people get offended by that joke because this is on Facebook, so they won't see it. Okay, so but this virus now we call it COVID-19, right? And the reason there is this name COVID-19 is because the World Health Organization decided that people were calling it the Wuhan virus. And the World Health Organization said, no, we don't want to use the name Wuhan virus because, it could stigmatize Chinese people. Chinese people get offended by that, and I don't know, what is the World Health Organization run by a bunch of millennials? Because this is a pretty serious virus, right? People are dying, people losing their jobs. But what does the World Health Organization spend their time on? The name of this virus is not PC enough. It's too accurate, yeah, it's very insensitive. So now they call it the COVID-19, and now that they renamed the virus, now nobody knows that the virus came from China, right? Which is weird, right? Because you see, when China copies products from other countries, they get to stick their name on it, right? It's made in China. But now there's this original virus that China created, and now they're not getting the proper credit. It's just weird. Yeah, COVID-19 is now a worldwide pandemic, and apparently the only thing that can save you is toilet paper. Because all of the world people are panic buying toilet paper, like it's some kind of contest, like there's a prize. What is this? Is this what, Charlie and the Toilet Paper Factory? Is there some Willy Wonka somewhere? He hit 5 golden tickets in the toilet paper supply. You get a golden ticket, you get to win a toilet paper factory, which now is worth more than an oil field, right? Although one country that did not panic buy toilet paper is Malaysia, right? Malaysia did not panic buy toilet paper. And that's because Malaysians, they have an alternative to toilet paper. It's called Malaysian ringgit. Yeah, okay. I guess Malaysia, they also have that thing, what they call the bum gun, anal jets, assholes. But that uses water, right? And I think probably Malaysia, they would probably prefer to save the water, sell it to Singapore for, Singapore dollars. So, yeah, but I was saying, World Health Organization, they made this whole name so that not to offend Chinese people. As I guess a lot of white people, they're very sensitive about that, right? They're very sensitive about Asian culture. Sometimes they take it a bit too far. Like for example, recently after before the lockdowns, I was at a show, and after the show, this American tourist came up to me. And she said to me, "Hey, Jinx, you have a very nice shaved head." And I was tempted to touch it, but I read an article in Lonely Planet that said that it's very rude to touch somebody's head in Asian culture. Right? That's what she said, right? And I wanted to be polite, right? So on the outside, I'm like, okay, thank you for understanding Asian culture. But on the inside, I was like, you ignorant bitch. It's rude to touch a stranger's head in every culture. Like, don't make it sound like Asians are the weird ones, right? It's rude in every culture, right? You'll never see like a United Nations meeting, where all the world leaders are there, and then Donald Trump just walks around. Oh, Angela Merkel from Germany. Oh, good girl, good girl, good girl. Oh, Justin Trudeau from Canada. Come, give you a noogie. Oh, Kim Jong-un from North Korea. Oh, okay, very rude to touch your head in your culture. No, it doesn't happen, right? It's rude in every culture. Which makes me wonder, okay, what if this American woman, what if she never read the article in Lonely Planet? What if she didn't read the article? What would she be doing when she travels to Asia? What if she visits a temple full of monks? She just starts playing whack-a-mole. Right? Yeah, it's weird. And I also don't know why she felt the need to announce to me, that she wasn't going to touch my head. Right? She's not going to touch my head, just don't touch my head, right? You don't have to tell me about it. That's like a guy going up to a woman. It's like, hey, miss, I noticed you have a very nice ass, and I was tempted to grab it, but I read an article in Lonely Planet that said that it's very rude in your culture. Yeah, but it is weird being a Chinese comedian, because being a comedian is a creative job. And I learned creativity in the most Chinese way possible. Okay, I learned creativity in school when I was copying homework. You see, copying homework teaches you creativity, right? Because you can't copy word for word. Right? The teacher will know, right? So when you copy homework, you have to do this thing called paraphrasing. And sometimes you have many people copying from the same guy. You have to make sure all your answers are unique as well. And that takes creativity. Like, for example, let's say the guy you're copying from, he wrote like Napoleon lost the war. Right? First guy to copy has to change it, right? So, Napoleon lost the war big time. And then the next guy has to change it even more, right? Oh, the war was lost by Napoleon. Small time. And then there's always one guy who messes it up, so, the war lost Napoleon. It's like, dude, what the hell, man? Like, you're breaking the chain. Put in some effort when you copy homework. And you never want to be the last guy to copy homework, right? Because the last guy, he's always running out of options. So the last guy always ends up writing like Yoda from Star Wars. Lost the war, Napoleon did. Powerful in battle he was, but very arrogant he became. Because French he was. So surrender his army did. Which is a stereotype, there's a stereotype that French people like to surrender. But I think even the French people, they agree with that stereotype. That's why even in France, their most famous national monument is called the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, but because of these lockdowns, you have got a lot of time to surf the internet, right? So the other day I was just surfing the internet, came across one of these clickbait articles. The clickbait articles, right? This article is, the headline said, oh, you won't believe who Tom Cruise is dating now. Click to find out more. So I saw that article, like, what kind of idiot is going to click on? Hey, who is he dating now? Clicked on it, right? And then I realized, I'm the idiot, right? Because I'm just too curious, right? When you get too curious, you click on these clickbait articles. Like, curiosity will make you do stupid things, like stupid things. Like, Like for example, I guess, you know, sometimes you read the news and somebody goes to the hospital for some weird reason, like he gets a beer bottle stuck up his ass. You know? What could make someone do something like that, right? I think it has to be curiosity, right? You know, horniness is not enough. It has to be curiosity. Right? I think it's curiosity. That's why, you know, you read those articles. Oh, this guy went to the hospital with a beer bottle stuck up his ass. Most people, we read that article and we ask why. Right? But that guy, he dared to ask why not. Yeah. Yeah. So curiosity makes you do stupid things, you know, and I realize now that, like, for example, sometimes even when my girlfriend tries to tell me a story, you know, she'll also start off the story with some clickbait line, you know, like, so, oh, you won't believe what Sharon said to Janet's husband today, right? And I hear that, I'm like, I don't even know who Sharon and Janet are, but I guess I'll click to find out more. You know, tell me the story. Right? I want to. Sounds like a juicy story. And then I click to find out more, and then my girlfriend starts telling me the story, and then I instantly regret it. You know, because when women tell stories, women don't really tell stories. Okay, they tell sagas. The stories go on forever. So when my girlfriend tells me a story, it's kind of like America going to war, because she knows how to start, but she has no exit strategy. In fact, that's how we got into a relationship. You know, on the first date, she started telling me a story. I'm still waiting to hear the ending. So it's weird. I guess, you know, men and women just tell stories differently, right? You know, like for example, when a guy tells a story, it's like the story of Humpty Dumpty. Like one main character, one thing happens, end of story. But when women tell stories, it's more like Game of Thrones. Right? Because it starts like a simple story, you know, but then she keeps adding in new characters, new plot lines, new flashbacks, new tangents. Goes on for 8 seasons. You ask me what's going on, I don't know. I got lost in season 3. Well, at first there was just this family, you know, and then one thing led to another, and now there's a dragon. And finally, I'm like, hey, finish your story. Winter is coming. Yeah, so I guess guys are just better at storytelling. You know, I think guys are better storytelling, and I think the reason guys are better at storytelling is because guys watch porn, and porn will teach you to be a good storyteller. Yeah, actually, in fact, I think porn is the best storytelling there is, because nobody ever watches porn and then complains that the book was better. Yeah, porn is the best storytelling. You know, in fact, you know, porn is such good storytelling that if you go to Pornhub, you know, and you see the video titles, you notice that those Pornhub titles, they can tell an entire story in just one sentence. Yeah, and that's why a lot of guys in relationships will still watch porn, because porn gives us what we can't get from our girlfriends, and that is concise storytelling. Yeah. And in fact, those Pornhub titles, I think it's not just good storytelling, it's also very good journalism, right? It's very good journalism, because you notice those Pornhub titles, in one sentence, they tell you who, what, where, when, why, and how. Right? Like for example, who, delivery man. What, bank's housewife. Where, on kitchen table. When, after blowjob. Why, because she couldn't pay. How, click to find out more. Right? All right, so I think that's about my time. So thank you for listening. And by the way, if I could give a quick plug, tomorrow, Saturday, I'm doing a 1 hour live stream comedy show with Nowhere Comedy Club. It's a live stream you can watch from anywhere in the world. And if you want to get tickets, I would love to see you there. You can get information and tickets at my website, jinxyeo.com. Okay, that's JINXYEO.com. So I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Jinx. Jinx, where's Nowhere Comedy streaming from?
I think it's from Zoom. So Nowhere Comedy. I think they use Zoom.
Which country? Is it from Singapore?
Oh no! It's like America. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But it's a Zoom. It's on Zoom. Anywhere in the world you can catch it. So yeah.
All right, nice one. Thank you, Jinx. Love to see you work, even on the online screen. All right, get out of here. All right. That was Jinx Yeo, everybody. Let's see the big W's for our Singaporean friend Jinx Yeo. All right, the comments are looking very positive. Nice one, Jinx, says Pat Fern G. Punto. Laura Cole says ha 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 ha. That's appropriate. She also came in late. That's okay, Laura. You just missed me. And it's good. It's good. There might not be some live comments. I won't be able to read all the live comments. These are the ones coming in from the Crack House Comedy Club Facebook page, and also the Laugh Support group as well. There's a lot of heckling here from Young Y Chin. Yeah, you know the best thing about these virtual shows, and I heard this from an American comedian, is that we can actually with the heckling, we can actually go like, "I'm sorry, what? What? Sorry, what did you say? I can't hear you. I can't. What is? Yeah. Genius, so funny. Thank you, Luke Geddes. I hope I'm definitely fucking up these names. Ha 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 ha. Gabriel Rotz. Young Y Chin says, think out of the box. Yeah, but we're supposed to stay inside. So how we are in a way. This is coming out of the box. Yeah. Anyway. All right, fantastic. Looks like everybody enjoyed Jinx's set. Let's move on to our headliner, or our last act of the night. He's performed the Crack House many times. We love having him. He's somewhat of the road warrior of stand-up comedy. So let's give it up. Give him a big Crack House, big Malaysian, KL, big internet, Facebook Live, YouTube, wherever. Big welcome for Mr. Ro Campbell, everybody.
Hello, Malaysia. Just give me a second. Very important. Think I'm safe now. How you doing? This is as close as they let Aussies get to Asians at the moment. Hope you're having a great time in lockdown, MCO, whatever the fuck you call it, wherever you are. Great to be here. This is my first online gig, and it's kind of weird because there's no audience reaction. So I've got a little app here just to help me along. I haven't said anything yet. All right. So wherever you are, I hope you're having a great time. It's nice to be here. As you can tell from my shirt, I like to get fucked up and go shopping at KK Mart. Hell yeah, that's what I like to do. Just go for a munchie run and look like the only white member of a Vietnamese organized crime organization. So that's my style. Oh, that's where I need this. I need someone else doing this. This is the new normal. Get used to this shit. All right, so I want to show you a little trick that you can use anywhere in the world because cash has become sort of notorious for spreading the virus. So here's a little trick you can do. Yeah, that's right. I'm doing prop comedy here in lockdown. And you get this stuff, isopropyl alcohol, 99%. You probably can't buy it during Ramadan. But anyway, if you can, mix it with 50-50 with water and it makes a great cocktail. But so you get this stuff. This is the good shit. Inferior products are being sold for exorbitant rates on the internet. So if you want to make sure you got the real stuff, spray a bit on your wrist, lick it off. If within 5 seconds you feel like stealing a fucking car and or a motorbike and becoming a rumpet, then you know you got the good shit. All right. So you get your money. Okay, you spray the isopropyl on the money. Give that a little bit of a wave, dry it off. Now that money is safe to give to someone else. You've been a responsible citizen and you've increased the value by 10%. That's a $55 note there, about 150 ringgit. So yeah, I think that deserves some claps. Thank you. That's enough. So I was supposed to be in Malaysia like last week. Unfortunately, all this shit cancelled it. I like coming to Malaysia. You've obviously been through a pretty tumultuous time in politically anyway in the last even before coronavirus. So I'm kind of confused because the last time I checked, the last time I was in Malaysia, you'd sort of had this one political party. They'd been in power for 60 years or something. And then everyone decided they were too corrupt and there was going to be a new beginning, a new Malaysia. I knew something was up because I arrived at the airport and there was a big billboard that said, "Welcome to bribery-free Malaysia." And I thought, well, holy fuck, they've got a sense of humor in this country. You know what I mean? And apparently that billboard was paid for with a $600 million donation from the Saudi Arabian royal family. But anyway, and then a new party formed, and this is what blew my mind because I hadn't seen the previous 10 seasons of Malaysian politics, so it was a little bit confusing. But the guy who used to be the leader of the long-running corrupt party sort of had an awakening and realized that corruption was really evil. And that he should join the new, now not corrupt party and be its leader at the age of 93, which, let's face it, guys, that's you shouldn't be running a country at 93. You shouldn't be running a bath unsupervised at 93. And that guy, from what I understand, had a lot of enemies, and I can't believe he's still alive. How hard would it be to kill fucking Mahathir? I mean, seriously, you could just go boo and he'd fucking drop dead. You'd think, but apparently not. He locked his arch rival up, didn't he? And that guy, he locked him up for like sodomy. I remember that back in the 90s or whatever. Put him in prison for sodomy, which is not really a punishment if that's your thing. But and then he made him his deputy prime minister in the new, now not corrupt. I mean, holy fuck, guys, you got some confusing shit going on. Then there's the whole crazy aspect of Malaysian political culture, whatever you want to call it, that I only found out on like my 15th visit, was the fact that you have 9 royal families. I mean, that's too much inbreeding for anywhere. Like in Britain, they complain about one royal family leeching all their, all the taxpayers' money. You got 9 of them. Holy shit. There's countries that don't have 9 football teams, You could have Malaysia could have like a fucking football league just of royal families playing each other. And you seem to operate your royal family structure on a kind of football, like every 5 years, one of your 9 royal families gets to become they go to the Champions League. They become the big guys. They become the fucking, the Agung, as you are all aware, but there's international viewers. Come on, let's hope there's an American here trying to understand this shit. And the Agung becomes the king of Malaysia. And the last time I was over there, early last year, you just got a new Agung. And he was the Sultan of Kelantan or whatever. And, I went up there once, and I heard a guy yell fucking, "Hey, dude." And I went, so he was just saying, "Hey, dude," as it turned out. But so he became the Agung. And then from what I believe, his wife was like 50 years old and had a little bit of a history of crazy behavior, drugs and all the rest of it. And then as soon as he was made Agung, his 25-year-old Russian wife, a video was leaked of her on the internet. I don't know, like you guys all know this obviously, and it was of her having sex live on Russian TV on a reality TV show, and I was shocked to find out that a 25-year-old Russian that would marry a 50-year-old member of Malaysian royalty might be a bit of a whore. But there you go. And I think what was interesting about that was that video came out, and the Agung was disgraced by that, and he was forced to abdicate and give up his give up his position as the king, which he's obviously waited his whole life for. So that's just crazy, because you know what I mean. In Britain, that wouldn't have happened. In Britain, they would have just killed her in a car accident, and he would have just carried on as normal. I'm just going to pretend that I got some laughs. Oh no, my speaker's gone off. Oh, there we go. How good's that? All right. So, what else is there? I don't know. I feel like talking about Malaysia because, like I know I've got a Malaysian audience, and we have certain things in common, Malaysia and Australia. Like, you guys are also quite racist. You've got your own sort of version of racism, and I appreciate that, because it's known as a bit of a white man thing, racism. But holy fuck, I mean, for those viewers who have never been to Malaysia and don't understand the Malaysian racial sort of profiling, that happens a lot in comedy, or at least it used to. I haven't been there for a year, but so it's kind of like Chinese people get portrayed as sort of devious and thrifty, and Indians get portrayed as sort of drunk and dishonest, and Malays get portrayed as sort of lazy and entitled, and then white people, they're all of the above. That's how that works. So I hope I've helped you in that regard. It's like, you guys have been ruled at various times, as far as I'm aware, by the Dutch, the Portuguese, the British, obviously, the Japanese, the Chinese, the Japanese. Now that's a fucking funny one. I mean, maybe not for your grandparents, but because I was watching this documentary in my hotel room called World's Most Embarrassing Invasions. And it was actually the invasion of Malaysia by Japan during World War II. And I mean, fuck, like pretty much every invasion in every major war has happened by, ships or planes or tanks. And how did the Japanese invade Malaysia? They just went, you know what? We won't be needing the hardware, fellas. Just grab your fucking... They invaded on bicycles. They're just like, grab your 10 speeds. That's all you're going to need. Fucking ring, ring. We're invading Malaysia here. You got invaded by a fun ride. That's just incredibly and humiliating. That would have been the easiest invasion in history to stop. Like, the fucking soldiers at the border, they must have got a shock, because the Japanese are probably like racing. There was probably one guy in the front wearing a yellow jersey, just screaming bonsai. Ah, bonsai! He just crossed the border and slammed straight into the side of a truck on his bike. He was like a kamikaze cyclist. But, and behind him, 10,000 other Japanese cyclists fucking coming to invade Malaysia. You could have just stopped that invasion with like some strategically placed thumbtacks or a sturdy stick just by the side of the road, through the wheels, bang, bang. Anyway, so I always found that kind of amusing. You got invaded by a fucking whole bunch of Japanese on a bike. I watched this other World War II documentary, and they said that the Japanese systematically used crystal methamphetamine to get, for what do you call it? To get for stimulation and whatever through the war, fatigue and everything. And have a look at Japan, 1945, they get nuked, bang. 3 years later, they're the most modern country on earth. You don't do that without hitting the old glass Barbie a little bit, And but so I think if the Japanese really were like on crystal meth during the war, I got a feeling that they didn't even realize they were invading Malaysia on bicycles. I think they thought they were in spaceships. They were like, woo, they thought they were going to Mars. That's what they thought. A little bit of history there for you. I don't know if you know, but Australia, got colonized by Britain, but actually there was another European country that tried to colonize Australia about 150, 160 years before the Brits. And normally I would ask the audience, but I can't get any feedback. But some of you probably know, some of you don't. It was the Dutch. They obviously colonized our closest neighbors, Indonesia, and they actually named the Australian continent. They named it New Holland. So we could have become a Dutch colony, and I'm really glad we didn't. No offense to any Dutch people out there, but I don't think Australia would really work as a Dutch colony. You know what I'm saying? Like, we catch on fire a lot. You're probably aware of that. And tell you what, the last thing you want during a bushfire is, guys, wooden shoes. That's right. Very impractical. You don't want to be running into fight a fire in clogs. You know what I'm saying? Especially in New Holland, you run along in little clogs with your little fucking bucket of water, trying to throw it on a raging inferno. You're in New Holland, some idiots built a windmill to remind them of home. That thing's just there, blowing away, fanning the flames, making everything worse. You're like, my feet are on fire now, fucking, you know. But I've invented tap dancing, so it's not all bad. So I'm glad we didn't become a Dutch colony, you know, because we needed them to colonize South Africa to make us look less racist. So dunk you well for that. And yeah, I'd love to ask any questions at this point, but I can't hear any of you all. I haven't done stand up for like a couple of months. I'm actually here. Rizal said I was in my basement, but I'm actually in my sister's shed, and I've been here for 2 months. And but it's an Australian shed. It's bigger than most British houses, so it's not terrible. It could definitely be a lot worse. So, but it's Ramadan, right? That's got nothing to do with what I read. I didn't have something about Ramadan written down, but I just thought of that. I know it's Ramadan, so I know, like, you know, I always say because I have friends from Australia who've never really traveled a lot. They're quite ignorant in terms of other cultures. So they're like, oh, mate, how do you bloody go in Malaysia, mate? They're Muslims, aren't they, mate? Muslims. And, you know, I explained to them the whole Malaysian racism thing. And then they're like, oh, they sound all right, actually. Yeah, no, fucking. I always have to explain to them that, you know, like, Malays are pretty much like the Irish of the Islamic world. You know what I mean? They're like, praise Allah, the Johnny Walker Black Labels arrive, where the Bumiputra, princes of the earth. Oh, I love that one. That's my favorite. But yeah, that's wow. I think I miss the laughter at certain points, and I need that. Thank you. Just give me a second. Yeah, but I've been with Rizal, you know, in Malaysia during Ramadan, as he fucking nervously looks over his shoulder while he's eating pork noodles in Chinatown at noon. So I've traveled a lot, you know, I've been to a lot of different. I've done quite a lot of gigs in the Middle East, to be honest. And I was in Bahrain. I guess some of you probably been there. It's an island off the coast of Saudi Arabia, connected by a bridge. It's a lot more moderate than Saudi Arabia, so you can kind of you can buy alcohol there, and you can do kind of. It's actually where hookers go to die. Apparently, I went to a club there, and it was like, if ever you've wondered what happens to Thai bar girls when they get older, they sling their boobs over their shoulder. They make their way to Bahrain. They have about another 50 years on the game there. It's fucking crazy. But so I was in Bahrain, and I just put the name of like a porn site into my browser. I kind of didn't really even think about it. This porn site, instead of this porn site popping up, this like page pops up with like ominous sounding music, and it was like, it was accompanied by a big message in large red Arabic letters, and a flashing skull and crossbones in the middle of the message. Like, when you're expecting to see a threesome in a burkini, and you see a flashing skull and crossbones. I set the world record for shutting down an internet page that day. Trust me, I was like, wah! My hand moved so fast to the keyboard, there was like a fucking sonic boom. Some of the windows in my room broke. I don't know what the message said. Obviously, I can't read Arabic, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't enjoy your wank, inshallah. Okay. I need to get a better machine. You guys probably know, inshallah, but for any of the international viewers, in case it's probably the most commonly said thing in Arabic, it means God willing. But you know, I found they throw that phrase around in the Middle East without any religious connotation. Obviously, I took my laundry to the concierge in the hotel, and I was like, "When do you think my laundry will be ready?" And he looked at me and he said, "Well, tomorrow, inshallah." And I was like, "Okay, so God has to be willing for my laundry to be done." I feel like he's got a lot on his plate. You know what I mean? Like, I think it'd be what about if the laundry guy's willing? I feel like that'd be more efficient. Just gonna kid myself on that a couple of you are laughing at that one. Oh fuck yeah! I actually went to Bahrain with an American comedian. Very funny. Her name's Carmen Lynch. If you want to look her up, she's been on Letterman and stuff. She's doing really well. But she's still very American in the sense that like I had a little app so I could just say a few words in Arabic, and like I don't know if you've ever used them. You press a button and it will say the word, but nothing like anyone would pronounce that word. You know what I mean? So, sort of be like I had thank you, shukran. But anyway, I ordered a cup of peppermint tea or something, and she was sitting with me, and I said shukran, and she goes, "Wow, you speak Arabic?" And I was like, "Not really. I'm just using the app." And she was like, "That's amazing. Wow." And then she said the most American thing. She goes, "How do you spell that?" And I was like, "I don't think you're going to be asked to spell it." You know what I mean? But just on the off chance that you are dragged to a spelling bee at gunpoint and forced to spell thank you in the local language, I'm pretty sure it's spelled with 3 squiggles and a dot. Shukran. So, thank you. I'd love to talk to the audience at this point. It's not really an option, though, is it? I hope I didn't actually check with Rizal, because I know when you're actually performing on Malaysian soil, there are certain rules about all the politics and that. But I hope you can't get in any trouble for what an Australian person says via the internet stream. Because I remember one time I was in Malaysia and they brought in some law that it was illegal to be too funny on certain subjects, I believe. Rizal has probably talked about this at length. But I just thought that would be the fucking coolest shit. Like, if there's one thing I want to go to jail for, my career could really do with the profile boost of being jailed for being too funny. Like, that's pretty much the greatest excuse to miss Melbourne International Comedy Festival before lockdown came along, before coronavirus came along. That was a pretty great excuse. Why isn't Melbourne International Comedy Festival? Oh, he's in jail in Malaysia for being too funny. What a great thing to arrive in jail and just strut into the yard. You know, fucking, I'm here. What are you in for, mate? I'm in for being too funny. Now let's go to the showers and commit some hilarious sex crimes with your fucking ex-vice prime minister. Hell yeah. So hopefully none of you end up in jail for this. Where am I at? Oh, I've been deep diving for about 18 minutes. All right, I'm going to fucking wrap this up. This is the new world. I wish I could show you around my studio. I broke my toe building this little makeshift studio today. Because I've got like a professional kind of backdrop there, which is on some push-up poles, and I tripped over one of them. And I'll show you. I could probably show you a photo actually of my toe. I'm sure you can't fucking wait. What a great way to end the show. That's my. So that happened just like an hour before showtime. But that's why I'm on a stool. I'm not being a pretentious wanker. I just can't actually stand. And my whole idea was to fucking stand up like a normal comedy club gig, but I'm actually in too much pain to stand up. So, well, you guys have been great. I'm trying to think if there's some little way that I can wrap this. I'll end on a story actually, because you know, I feel like this format is sort of a little bit better for kind of story stuff than gags. Let me see. Yeah, I didn't have one loaded ready to go. That was a trademark move of mine. Just hoping something would come to me in the moment. And I'll tell you a little story about. I went to Korea. 2 years ago, I went to Korea, and I always thought Korea and Japan were exactly the same. You know what I mean? I didn't. And it turns out they really fucking hate each other. Particularly the Koreans hate the Japanese, because the Japanese have been their like colonial overlords on a number of occasions. And the biggest difference about Japan and Korea is actually their chopstick culture, because the Japanese exclusively use wooden chopsticks and the Koreans exclusively use metal chopsticks made out of steel to stab Japanese people in the face with. So that's there's a little hope you remember that. I found Korea a very frustrating country because they've got some law that you can't buy less than 20 bananas. And I'm just a regular guy, you know what I mean? I eat one banana a day. When you're traveling around, you don't want to be taking a big bunch of bananas with you. And they seem to have a minimum purchase there of like a big fucking thing. It didn't matter, even 7-Eleven minimum purchase, like 8 bananas. It's like, dude, I don't own a fucking chimp. You know, I just want one banana. Why was I saying that? Oh, so I did a bar gig on a Friday night. It was probably about exactly 2 years ago today. I was in Korea at this time 2 years ago, and I was in a little place called Changwon. It's not that little. It's a Korean city called Changwon. And believe me, my friends, you have to burn a lot of bridges in the world of comedy to end up playing in Changwon on a Friday. And that's where I was. And, a lot of expats there. There's a hell of a lot of foreigners live in Korea, and they all teach English. And what amazes me is that I've never been in a country where English is spoken so badly by the vast majority of the local population. So that they must be the worst, and everyone is an English teacher. So if you suck at teaching English, don't worry, there's still a job for you in Korea. And I'm doing this show to like 100 English teachers alcoholic English teachers in Changwon, Korea. And it's going pretty well. But there's a guy sitting at the bar. Like there's a bar there, and there's a couple of members of the audience sitting at the bar on stools watching the show. And he starts yelling, he starts heckling me, but the worst kind of heckle, because I'd be getting close to a punchline and then he'd yell something out. So it kind of smother my punchline, ruin the flow of my performance, ruin the joke. So normally it would only have to happen once, and I would just fucking annihilate that person with my comedy, obviously. And failing that, just smash them over the head with the mic stand. But as soon as the first heckle happened, I shot a glance over and I saw that this guy was very visibly disabled. Okay. And he had like tiny little shrunken arms. So honestly, they were like this. They were like little fucking flippers. And he had no thumbs. He just had 4 feet. You could see straight away that he just had this like tiny little arms with four fingers. And so as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh man, you can never really win. You can never really slam someone who's visibly disabled like that. It's not cool. No, and not only that, but I'm like, the guy doesn't have fucking thumbs. That's a hard life. I can't imagine being thumbless, but it's what separates us from a lot of other species. Imagine being thumbless in the Facebook era, like every single popular status is just fucking rubbing it in to what you're capable of. I'm like, I don't even know if there's an option for that guy, but to never be able to non-verbally communicate your approval across a crowded room be terrible. You can't even do that one, never go on scuba diving. Try that. So I gave him a free pass, I'm like, I can't fucking slam this guy, he's thumbless. He's got, and so I kept going, and he chipped in a couple more times. Then I did that bit actually about watching porn in Bahrain. And right as I got to the punchline, he yelled out, "You look like you wank a lot, bro." Oh, I should have mentioned, he's a Kiwi, by the way. He had the most strongest New Zealand accent. So like the shrunken arms wasn't even his biggest disability. He was from New Zealand as well. And, so still got a job teaching English in Korea. That's all I'm saying. But, where was I there? Fucking, this is so weird. I got no like rhythmic feedback off the audience. You fucking all tuned out. I could just be sitting here alone by now. So he's yelled out, "You look like you wank a lot, bro," in his thick Kiwi accent. And I was regretting at this point not having just slammed him earlier on with some good solid fucking New Zealand jokes with it, which every self-respecting Australian comedian should have. You could just go in, one of my old favorites, my joke, I might add, but you know, you're from New Zealand. Fucking, I got nothing against Kiwis. I love New Zealand. It's probably my favorite part of Australia. Okay. And from there we'll get stuck into the All Blacks, the rest of it. Okay. I could do another 20 minutes of good quality New Zealand jokes. Okay. I respect New Zealand, by the way. Their political culture is much nicer than Australia's. Let's put it that way. They don't tug the old colonial forelock to the American empire and suck their dick and follow them into pointless illegal wars and all the rest of it. New Zealand has a lot of integrity. That's what I mean. They refused to go to Iraq. They refused to go to Afghanistan. They even refused to let American ships dock in New Zealand while those conflicts were happening. And consequently, the only military action that the New Zealand Army saw over that period was playing goblins and elves in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So yeah, I actually went to a veterans club in New Zealand. It was just a bunch of fucking quite young guys sitting around going, I lost some of my best mates in the trenches at Mordor, bro. Poor old Barry had his ring destroyed in Middle Earth. It was a fucking tragedy. So I'm just going to assume there's some laughter there, I hope. So this thumbless fucking shrunken arm guys yelled out, you look like you wank a lot, when I got to the end of that bit of looking at porn in Bahrain. And I've stopped and I've thought, I've given this guy too many free passes, you know. I don't think he wants to be treated differently because of his disability. You know, he's probably yelling out because he wants a little bit of attention. He's probably been treated different his whole life because of that. And that's probably, you know, there's a time when disabled people want to be treated differently, like when they're trying to get on a fucking train or something. And there's other times they'll want to be treated normal. So I was like, well, it's time for some equal opportunity, fucking heckle slamming here. It's time to make this guy feel, you know, fucking whole. And so I looked at this guy and I'm like, what, are you seriously, you're looking at me and you're telling me that I look like I wank a lot? I said, bro, you look like you wank so much your fucking arms shrank and your thumbs fell off. Right, I swear to God, man. There was like a sharp intake of breath from the audience, like, does that vacuum before a bomb goes off? But he fucking spat his drink out. He slapped his little flipper arm on the bar. He pissed himself laughing. And as soon as the rest of the audience saw that the thumbless community of Changwon approved, they fucking laughed raucously as well, you know. And so that was cool. But then, like, the laughter died down, and I was just about to go back into it, and he yelled out something else, one of the most forlorn, saddest things I've ever heard. But he yelled out, he goes, I've never actually had a wank, bro, because you can't wank without thumbs, man, eh? And, oh, dude, I was like, fucking hell, man. Talk about a way to bring everyone down. You could just see every man in the audience just went into 1,000-yard stare as they contemplated how much shit they would have got done in their fucking teens if they hadn't been able to fucking masturbate. And I felt bad then. I felt bad again when he said that. I was like, oh, man, I wish I hadn't fucking made a joke about it now. And I said, listen, you know, I feel bad for doing that. I said, the guy's never had a wank in his life. So I took my hat off. I did like a Bob Geldof. I took my hat off and I said, listen, you know, we're in Korea, you know, there's a lot of, you've had the American military here for 6 decades. So there's a big fucking hand jobs for hire industry out there. We all know that. There's old Korean ladies that have got medals on their wrist for the services they fucking gave GIs back in the 50s, you know. So I said, let's chip in $10 each and we'll buy this guy an outsourced, give him his first proper fucking wank, you know. And the response was phenomenal. There's fucking, seriously, there was like $300 in that hat, you know. It got back to me, and I mean, I'm not exactly proud of it, but I didn't pass the money on. I kept the money, but I wanked him off myself. Okay, gave it the personal touch, and heroes come in many forms. That's all I'm saying. I should have a medal on this wrist too. And you know what? After he came up to me after, and he said, "I appreciate you slamming me the way you did, and the way that you actually mentioned how I look, because," he said, "it's like I feel like it's something people always avoid, tiptoe around, and it actually makes me feel more self-conscious." So actually, I thought it was really funny, and I liked it, and I was like, "Dude, this is you know, really awkward. You know, can we finish this conversation after you've blown your load?" And yeah, that's how I ended up wanking off a guy with no thumbs in Korea. So so that's pretty much that. You guys, I hope you enjoyed. It's very hard to tell what the reaction has been. I've enjoyed speaking at you from my sister's shed and with my broken toe at 1 o'clock in the morning. It is here almost. Always love coming to Malaysia. Always love coming to the Crack House. I've played there lots of times, and I can't wait to fucking see you all again in the flesh. And go check out my YouTube and whatever if you want. I suppose I'm trying to get a bit more organized. I don't really have anything else to plug, but yeah, add me on Facebook or whatever, and we can stay in touch. So you guys have been great, and I can't wait to come back to the Crack House and give it up for your host, Rizal van Geyzel, who the fucking man, the myth, the legend. Thank you.
Thank you, Ro. They'll never let you back in the country after all that shit you just said. But it's good. Can't hear you, Ro. I like how he had the word pelawak mabuk written here. Ro is the only white guy I know that can spell Australian in Malay. Just so you know, Ro, the comments were exploding while you were on. There's a few here. Luke Geddes says, brilliant, mate. There's Leslie Jeevan Balan here says $300. That's a win-win. Laura Cole is laughing. Sim Tong is laughing. Young Wai Chin, again, my teenager caught the jokes faster than me. Why are you letting your kid listen to Ro Campbell? That's so weird. Why would you even want to do that? Yeah, nice one. Juliana Heng, laughters, lots of love. Thank you so much. Thank you. Jakim is listening, but they won't understand. Hey, that's my joke. Okay, you want to heckle comment? Write your own material. Okay, don't take one of my jokes. They can't understand. No. That's my joke. Jakim is the religious police, by the way. And yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm contemplating on deleting this video now. After I should have thought a few times before putting Ro Campbell on live stream in Malaysia. Fuck. I want to keep the recording there, but I don't know. They can't. We're already shut down, and the club's not even running. So what are they actually going to shut down? You know what I mean? They turn up at the club like, oh no, we're not opening anytime soon. No. So we're just gonna have to get used to this, and I hope you guys will be patient with us while we work out the kinks on how to bring you live and intimate stand-up comedy the way we love to do it. Yeah, we're not very good with technology. We're not very good with visual stuff, but you know, yeah, we'll get somewhere. Thank you so much. If you want to give some donations to the Fire Grill COVID-19 Initiative, and if you want to tip the comedians that performed tonight, go to the Ko-fi link. That's ko-fi or ko-fi if you're from Kapong .com/crackhousekl. It's in the description on this page. And any donations we accept will give 70% to the Fire Grill COVID-19 Initiative, and 30% will be distributed for the comedians that perform. Somebody just said that my internet connection is bad. Are we having a U-Mobile moment right now? Nat, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, if I'm running okay. Okay, we're good. Okay, so this has been great. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. What's the worst can they do, Rizal? Laura, I do not want to find out. Thank you for the big W's, Liao Bing Ho. Yes, that's it. That's how we do it now. It's virtual show. Big W's means you're clapping. Thank you. Let's give last big W for all the comedians that have performed. We've had one from almost each country now. Well, not from around the world, but we're getting there. We've had Singapore and Australia tonight. Last week we had Canada and UK and India. And the weekend before that we had America, Cambodia. It's amazing. We can actually get anybody we want that's willing to do this. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, for tuning in. Tomorrow night, catch Gajen Nad and Freddie Quinn from the UK. So it's going to be an amazing show again tomorrow night. Do keep supporting local comedy. Keep supporting the Crack House Comedy Club. Thank you and good night. Let's bring back your comedians one more time. Jinx Yeo, everybody. Jinx.
Hey.
And, yeah, nice one, Jinx. Jinx is the only one that can show you what it looks like to do stand-up comedy and fly a plane. Hey, give it up for Ro Campbell, Pelawak Mabuk, or as I like to call him, Mat Saleh Pukimak.
Am I on air?
Yeah, you're on air right now.
Thanks, guys. So I hope I don't think you'll be in trouble. This could be a very important turning point in I'll take the rap.
They won't understand your accent.
Sorry, my fucking dog got hit by my dog just fell over.
Oh yeah, you know why your dog fell over? Because it's Ramadan, you infidel bastard.
I know. I should have shown you me patting the dog. I should have patted the dog for you guys. That would have been like porn for you. You guys should touch a dog just once. It's amazing.
Yes, Ro, we're very aware that you read up about Malaysian news a lot.
you told me all this shit.
What? Fuck. You
no, actually not the stuff we talked about tonight, but the first time I ever the first time I met you, actually, probably 7-8 years ago, was when you gave me insights into stuff no, I've obviously gone off on my own tangent now. Sorry.
You're good. No, it's good. I mean, it's you know, it is what it is, and it is. I don't know what you remember all of it. That's what I'm really impressed with. Like, we had that conversation. Like, we talked about the Japanese occupation of Malaysia. We talked about the sophisticated apartheid, our inequality here, and you actually remembered all of it. But you did say that the 93-year-old prime minister has stepped down.
I know, but it didn't. I know. I looked it up. I didn't realize that's everything. You're a soap opera over there. It's fascinating. To be fair, you've had less prime ministers than Australia has, but your last 2 years has been pretty crazy.
Yeah, it has. It has.
No, because I read up on it the last 2 days, and I was like, oh no, all that shit I wrote last year, when that stuff was current, isn't relevant anymore. But I just did it I did it anyway, Rizal.
Nice.
I framed it differently. It's a little comedic trick. Hey, dog.
Well, it's a good thing those checks went through. Are you actually getting your dog? Let's see it. Oh, look at that! I love a good pooch. Oh. What happened to his arm and his?
He jumped the fence and got hit by a car just before lockdown, and they normally would have amputated his leg, but he's a miracle. He's a miracle dog, and he's going to be all right.
Oh, good. Well, if you guys, thank you. Laura Cole says, write reviews or donate to My Comedy Snare Berhad. Thank you, Laura. We also have a Ko-fi account now, so if you guys want to give it, use the Ko-fi link in the description, do that, and we'll throw some money for Rose's sick dog. And also hopefully we can help fix Jinx's teeth.
He doesn't want that's part of his look, man. He's had plenty of opportunities to fix that now. He loves that shit. I was there when it happened, wasn't I?
No.
No,
You were there.
Maybe shortly after.
It was.
That's one of those stories that everyone there's like it more and more every year. Oh, I was there when Jinx knocked his tooth out. So like the Rolling Stones playing at your local pub. When Jinx gets his Netflix specials, there'll be fucking 20,000 people saw him knock his tooth out.
Right. That's Laura Cole.
I know how it happened. He fell over, bang, straight on his face.
He fell on his face after he drank over his limit. And how much did you drink, Jinx?
What was that? Like half a glass of cider, was it?
That's the funniest thing. Oh, that's so funny.
And he tumbled in front of me, and he hit the floor, and I was only standing just about 6 feet away from him, and I felt really bad because I didn't pull out my camera in time to record the whole thing.
Oh, you were there?
I was there, dude. I was there. We were at the floor fourth. We were at the Thai restaurant. In
Orchard Towers. Are we still going? Is it people
We're
watching this?
still
Or
live now. We should
can I
close.
tell a quick?
This is the longest close I've ever done.
Can I just tell a quick funny, like it's a comedian green room story about a comedian going to 4 floors? Have you ever heard this one?
That's right.
I'll make up a name, right? Okay, I'll call him Dave. Okay, that's not the person's name, and I don't think you know this person. But years ago, he came out, and he'd been to Singapore a bunch of times, but everything had changed, and this time he was coming with Jonathan, right? And he brought his girlfriend, and after the show, John's like, okay, guys, why don't we go to Orchard Towers and have Thai food? And the girlfriend goes, oh, I've heard about this place, the Floors of Whores place. I've got to see this. And this Dave guy's like, what are you talking about, baby? Why would you want to go there? Fucking, it's a den of iniquity, It's fucking horrible. It's a bunch of old white guys sleazing on the fucking. That's horrible. Why would you want to go there? And she's like, I've never seen anything like that, I've never been around that. And he's like, no, I don't want to go to that. So he puts the moz on it, right? So it doesn't happen. And the next night, another show, and she brings it up, and she's like that to John in front of her boyfriend. Oh, you know what? I'm still pretty keen to go and check out that Orchard Towers place if you wouldn't mind taking us. And John's like, yeah, sure. And he looks at Dave, and Dave's like, oh, if you really want to, baby. And they go there, and they go up the escalator. And as him and his girlfriend get to the top of the escalator, all these girls go, Mr. Dave, Mr. Dave. That's a classic one.
That's classic. I just dropped my phone.
I've heard that from that is apparently 100% true story.
That's hilarious. Well, I can't thank you two enough for doing this, the unorthodox setup, and I hope that we can adjust to this new normal shows that we're doing right now.
It's been a pleasure, mate.
Yeah. Well, let's bring on our technical guy backstage who's been helping us run the tech. Let's get up from
It's your bar staff. And
it's the eye candy part of the show. There you go.
Good on you, Nat. Well done. Nat is wearing no clothes. That's disturbing. Oh, you're the naked trombone guy.
Yep. And I'm drinking. Cheers, bro.
Oh, fucking good on you, mate. Cheers.
Nice
I'm
one.
Drinking a very good port from South Australia.
You bloody infidels! Look at you heathens! No respect, no utter respect for the time we live in, for the time we're living in.
As a little weird project, I went to this graveyard in Brisbane this week and found a mass grave of all the people executed in Queensland. They put them all in this one ditch, and they've now got a little thing. And it was amazing the nationalities. No, seriously, this is like 1840 to 1900, and as well as there being a lot of Aboriginal people and all that, there was a couple of Malays, which blew my mind. And then I looked it up, and I actually found the newspaper report from like the 1880s of a hanging of a Malay guy just called Sudin, and he got up on the gallows and he read from his Quran, and he fucking was they said he was very typically stoical, and he died like a man who did your country proud.
Oh, that's what happened to Sudin. We were all wondering where he went off to.
Oh. Cheers to Sudin.
I'll send you a photo if you want.
I'm drinking ice water, okay? Just so you know.
Jinx is staying off the alcohol. I think.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Jinx. Well, you can now since you're at home, so you don't have to worry about traveling anywhere. Anyway, we should close the show, guys. Let's at least try and keep it professional. Can we get Nat? Keep pouring your drink. I got this. Thank you so
Okay.
much for watching the show tonight. Tomorrow night we're back on again at 9:30 with Geyzel and Freddie Quinn. It's going to be hilarious. Once again, this has been a COVID-19 initiative from the Fire Grill. So do give your donations, and also we'll give some of the money to these comedians. Although they look all right, so that's why the bigger chunk is going to Fire Grill. They look fine. Even Ro is.
I don't need any. I'm fine.
Yeah, but you know. Maybe for your dog and for my baby. So, all right, wave, guys, wave. Thank you, and good night. Okay, I think I just didn't cut the fancy ending.
So we're still here, yeah?
That's it. That's the show.
Rizal, do I cut the feed now?
What's that?
Thanks, Nat. Thanks, Riz.
Do I take us off air now?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
What do you think? So, what do you think of this setup now, Ro? What do you think of like doing an online gig? This is your first online gig you did, right? And you too,
crazy, man. That's one of the wildest experiences. That was wild.
Are we still on?
Yeah, we're still on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is the
okay.
This is the.
He's already in here. Yeah, thanks, mate. So, my brother-in-law was looking for the dog. So yeah, that was. Oh, it was a good experience.
What are you getting your laugh track out of? What are you actually playing your laugh track?
Man, I did that like in the 10 minutes before the show. I suddenly had, because I used to do it I did a Fringe show years ago where I had like a drum machine thing, but instead of drums, I programmed in all, like heckles, and I used to do this daft thing where I would do my own heckles.
Oh yeah.
And all that, and different, and booing and everything. And so I just had a thought, oh, there's probably an app like that these days. So I didn't have any time at all, but the one I found one, and I literally just had like 2 minutes to work it out before I was on air. So that's why it was a bit shit. But I would actually like to get one of those drum machines. I'll show you. Because the way it was laid out, the way it's laid out is the same as. Oh, fuck off! The version I've got has ads. I'll send you a link to it.
Oh yeah, good. It's kind of.
I just did that for a bit. The reason I did it in Edinburgh was years ago, because it was something to lighten the mood when there was only 4 or 5 people in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
yeah.
And it just went from there. So it just occurred to me just before we went on.
Yeah, well, I've never been to Edinburgh, and I'm so sorry that all your gigs got cancelled out there. That's really
I'm very happy about it. 2020 is panning out beautifully. I'm loving this, man. I'm liking it. As long as no one dies. The virus is not good, but everything else is.
I get what you mean. Yeah, I get what you're saying. There's
we will come out of this stronger. Trust me, we will.
All right, and on that note, that seems like a nice note to end. Actually, we'll come out of it stronger. That's good. What am I thinking? We already ended the show. So.
Are we still being watched by people then?
Yeah, we're still being watched by people.
12. I thought that we were just talking amongst ourselves.
12 people to be exact.
We'll come out of this stronger, guys. Sound like I'm running for politics.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Inbox me.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a good one.
Great to see you, Jinx.
Yeah, good to see you, bro.
Good to see you, Jinx. Good to see you, Jinx. You look well.
See you, Nat.
Hey, a quick question: Are the mummoks still open?
They are, but they have. There's no furniture, so you got to buy your food and then fuck off. You can't stick.
Yeah, legally limited.
That's good. That's great.
Yeah. And you know who made everything worse was the white people.
Of course they did. It's what we do.
When on Monday they all went out to the pubs, and then on Wednesday they told all the pubs to shut down.
Oh fuck. Mate, I live in a country that's got a lot of, we're about to have a big relaxation here, but it's probably there'll be a second wave because Aussies they don't know how to self-police.
Yeah,
who else will go?
afraid of that happening here too. Sorry, Jinx, you were talking. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
Who else were they expecting to go to the pubs if not white people? I mean, it's Ramadan, right? So-
That's it. It's the only decent contribution we've made to fucking global culture, man. Alcoholism. And
Fair
even that
enough.
we stole from the Egyptians.
Do you know how hard it is to find duty-free alcohol during lockdown?
Is it in Malaysia?
Yep.
I bet there's some uncles out there that have got fucking 3 years worth of black labels stashed away.
I got freezers and fridges full of booze in the crack house right now.
Oh yeah. I'm
Yeah.
on my way. I'm on my way.
Just wait for Ramadan to be over, lah, you disrespectful motherfucker.
Oh, sorry. So they,
I'm
I
just
feel
kidding.
like I'm practically doing Ramadan at the moment. I'm on this crazy. I only eat for a small window during the day.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's about right. That's the same. That's exactly the same as being a Muslim. Just
Wow, you know, not a very good one.
you got the beard going.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So now what?
Now that's it. We're done. We say goodbye, and then I'm gonna go probably tuck my kids in and get some midnight snack, and then probably
Is there a
That's
way
it.
that I can watch that? Is there a way that we can watch that privately or not?
Yes, you can. Once we end the stream, the recording
Okay.
was still playing. Although
Alright,
I'm
cool, man.
contemplating on deleting it, considering it. But maybe if we keep fucking
Don't
around
delete it.
now, if we keep filling up the time now, video will look too long for them to not even fucking bother to sift through to find
don't-
your.
If they are watching your live stream for in this particular time when there's so many other things going on, that's just completely bonkers. But
That's true. Also.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that yeah. Because what is this essentially? It's just a live stream comedy act.
Mate,
That
blame
got-
it on the
Rizal,
OT.
what do
I
we have?
believe it's quite safe. There's a minimum of 20 minutes on either side of Rosette, so I think he should be safe. He's smack in the middle.
Yeah. Also, like one of the audiences that hack my lines that say, yeah, at least did the joke in English, so no one's gonna fucking understand a word he said.
No,
And with the
That's
Aussie accent.
no, that's right.
All right, guys. Take care. And
Yeah, take care.
I'll see you guys on a different broadband.
It was great to see you.
It's good to see you,
Cheers,
boys.
fellas.
Take
Cheers.
care.
Yeah.
All the best.
Send me your PayPal details.
That was fun, guys. All the best. I'll talk to you soon online, etc.
All right,
Bye.
signing off, folks.
Okay.